The last bastion of the free society of the internet has fallen today, unfortunately. Your favorite site in the whole world, Omegle, has finally shut down. After 14 years in service, the website announced that it was shutting down today. If you go over to the site right now, you're not really going to find strangers to video chat with. You're just going to find a long-ass message that I will TLDR for you right now. It says, "The battle for Omegle has been lost, but the war against the internet rages on. Virtually every communication service has been subject to the same kinds of attacks as Omegle, and while some of them are much larger companies with much greater resources, they all have their breaking point somewhere. I worry that unless the tides turn soon, the internet I fell in love with may cease to exist, and in its place we will have something closer to a souped-up version of TV, focused largely on passive consumption, with much less opportunity for active participation and genuine human connection. If that sounds like a bad idea to you, then please consider donating to the Electronic Frontier Foundation, an organization that fights for your rights online." So that's basically a TLDR version of what you can find on the website here. But basically, if you don't know what Omegle was, it's a website that you could just go into and you had the ability to either text chat or video chat with random strangers. And that actually allowed you to strike up conversations with just about anybody from Sweden to Australia. The cool thing about the website is that you could just have debate, like instantly. Like you could actually just put some tags saying that you both like anime, and you could just go like, "Hey, which anime do you like most?" And you could just find and meet people who you have a lot of things in common with. And the cool thing is that even if you didn't like the person or you just got matched with someone that you didn't like, you could always just skip to the next one almost immediately. There was a sense of anonymous interaction where you could just meet people at little to no risk of getting doxxed or harmed or anything, which was kind of like the main selling point of it, but that also allowed a bunch of strangers with not the best intentions in the world to kind of just weasel their way in, or just weasel their worm in on the website. Because unfortunately, people found out that if you don't have consequences in a website where you can just meet up with random strangers, then that means you can basically just go flash your junk in front of everybody, and well, no one's gonna report you, unfortunately. But in the long ass document that the owner left before they shut down, they did say that they had competent computer AI along with a bunch of moderators that help put a bunch of these creepos and strangers behind bars. So props to them for putting creepos and weirdos behind bars for illegally breaking the law on the lawless land that is the internet. But unfortunately, all of that might not have been enough, because if you stop one wiener, 7 wieners will spawn in its place, as the Great Hydra once did in that Hercules movie. So unfortunately, despite all their best efforts, there was a lot of criminal activity happening there, not just with those kind of like weird sexual actions, but there was also a bunch of grooming happening to minors, and there was also like a bunch of blackmail. You know, not good stuff. It was not a very good site, even though there was a bunch of opportunity for really positive content there, because like I mentioned, you did meet some really interesting and amazing people in there, and you as a YouTuber, you also had the ability to entertain a bunch of people there, because one of my favorite YouTubers actually we used to go on Omegle and just start playing guitar and impressing people with his shredding skills. So there was a lot of positive in the website, but unfortunately that was severely outweighed by all the negativity that was just happening there, man. Like if you went to Omegle, you didn't go with the intention of, "I'm gonna meet some really great people here." No, man, every single time you click next, it's like you were playing Russian roulette. Am I gonna get a wiener now? Or am I gonna get someone who's actually half decent at being a normal person, right? At least in my personal experience when I was using Omegle, a lot of it was just like, you see a guy and it's like they were hunting for girls or something, because it's like you see a guy, instant skip, you see a guy, instant skip. And maybe if you find someone who's cool and is down to earth and talk, then that's cool, awesome. But a lot of the times it was just kind of used like a dating site per se before Tinder was a thing, or at least that's how I saw most guys using it. I just like to hang out with my friends, meet up, and we would all get together, look at the webcam and go like, "Hey, what's up guys?" Despite having some really good intentions of wanting to connect people at a virtual level, and it was one of the first sites to do so, it just couldn't really last. In the end, it really couldn't just withstand all the attacks from all the people who were using the website for not the best purposes online. In my opinion, I think that if you're a creep on the internet, you're gonna continue being a creep even if a website shuts down. Even though Omegle did have that benefit of being anonymous, and I'm not saying benefit in a positive way, I'm saying that these guys were creeps and weirdos, and well, now they can't do it anonymously on Omegle, so maybe now they'll keep doing it on TikTok, the way I've seen it happening on TikTok now. But it just goes to show that even though if the website shuts down, it doesn't necessarily mean that's gonna fix the problem, right? These losers, these degenerates are just gonna find somewhere else to take their business and their schlongs to. So yeah, rest in peace, Omegle. I don't think that necessarily solves the problem of having these people on the internet. It just sort of highlights it even more that, you know, people like this, people who just have like no sense of normalcy, I guess. They're just out there, man. They're just out there. So yeah, Omegle shut down. What do you guys think? Is it a net positive or net negative for the internet? That's kind of all I wanted to talk about today, so I'll catch you on the next one.